Let's go.
Yeah!
Good. How did Doris come to know?
We've waited long enough. She's...
Back to civilization.
With all haste. Lest any of you lackwits start talking like these feckless bumpkins. I presume your men are... We've suffered too many delays as it...
Yes.
Oh, it appears we have company. Kill him.
You're welcome to try. So much for your escort.
You'll forgive me. I surrender. Do with me as you wish, Cid the Outlaw.
Cid.
Ah, Doris. I take it you're not here to rescue me from our brooding renegade? You know, I always wondered where you'd vanished to. But casting your lot with this criminal of all people...
Better fighting for a cause than killing for coin. I'm sorry, Cid. I should have told you sooner. This woman, my former master, once trained bearer children to be weapons in service of the highest bidder. She raised me like a daughter, and I did terrible things to earn her favor.
It wasn't all terrible, surely. You were always so eager to learn, and had such clever hands. All my other children took either to the blade or to the books. Always either or. But you proved yourself a master of both. That's why I kept you for my own. How about it, my little dagger? Care to...
I never swore my blade to you, nor to liberate the bear. Farewell, master. Thank you for making me the weapon I am.
You always were. Perhaps that's the reason I loved you.
What do you want to do with her?
I am not the killer she wanted me to be. Not anymore. And she no longer has friends in high places. The Dane?
All right.
I am. And
Then I should head back to the hideaway and put Cole's mind at ease.
Welcome back, Cid. Doris's message just arrived. I hear you saved more bearers from being smuggled across the border.
With any luck, they'll be joining us in the hideaway shortly. Oh, and your letter. You don't need to worry about Doris anymore.
I'd been hoping as much. She mentioned one or two things in her report. So the slaver we'd been chasing all these months was her former master. Wish I'd known. She's been arrested, by the way, over in Sanbreque. Went quietly, or she won't be getting off lightly. The Empire may have no... Can't have been easy for Dorit.
I'm sure it wasn't.
I hope so. You had quite the past yourself before you... Anyway, thanks again, Cid.
Keep up the good work. What's happened?
Clive. You'll be pleased to know that the negotiations are progressing well.
That is good news.
Yes. Our comrade in Randala has just sent word that the contract should be signed very soon. But I still have much and more to prepare. It's a huge undertaking moving this many bearers at once. You couldn't do me a quick favor, could you?
What is it this time?
Nothing like that. I just need you to go over to the caravans and ask El how long we have until the bearers arrive. Find out exactly how much faster I need to get all these supplies moved.
All right.
Thanks, Clive.
Don't blame yourself, El. This is their fault, not yours.
I know, but...
No buts about it. all right?
Is something wrong?
Vonnie came to give me a message from our intermediary. The talks with the Republican Army have fallen through. They've reached an agreement with the Silver Peak Consortium instead. Though prices have fallen of late, we deliberately offered above the going rate to try and deter other bidders. But the Consortium offered double what we did, and the Army...
And you had no opportunity to make a counteroffer?
None at all. And we were so close.
Elle? What's happened? I saw Vonnie leaving. She didn't look happy.
And with good reason.
But I thought we were the only ones the Fist were speaking to about the bearers. How did the Consortium even find out about this?
It's not so surprising. They have ears all over the Republic. This isn't over. The Consortium will have to sell these bearers eventually, and at the price they paid, buyers will be few and far between. I'm going to Randalar myself.
Alone? You sure that's wise?
Are you offering to be my bodyguard? How kind. Meet me at the checkpoint near the capital gates. I'll send an owl ahead and request a meeting. You go to Cashlock, Theo, and get everything ready. We've waited far too long as it is. Even if I fail to free these bearers, there will be others. Someone needs to prepare the place and keep any prowling beasts at bay.
Oh, and that's me, is it? Well, it looks like I'm following orders till she gets back from meeting the Silver Peak Consortium, who've been doing their best to undermine our scheme. She'll never join them after this, surely. No, she said it herself. She still has plans for Cashlock, even if this one falls through. She means to stay with us, then. I can't say I'm not happy to hear it, but... is this what she really wants?
You have to trust her.
You're right. It's what she wants now. And if Elle's off fighting for the cause, I should do my part too. So I bid you farewell and safe travels, my friend. I'll gather my men and leave for Cashlock. We'll make sure the place is well stocked and defended. You go to Randalar and see if you can stop my sister biting the Consortium's heads off. If she won't consider her prospects, someone has to.
I'll do my best. All right. To Randalar, then. And better... keep Eloise waiting. What's happened?
What I wouldn't give for a hunt.
Looks like this is the end of the road for us.
When are they gonna let us through?
Faster! Straight home now. I hope I didn't keep you. What did you arrange to speak with?
Here they are now.
You wish to consult with me?
I did.
It's about the bearers we had all but finished making arrangements to buy them ourselves. And then you stepped into the fray.
You misunderstand. The Consortium had an interest in purchasing them from the very first. It was only our regard for you that kept us from bidding. But your hesitancy in accepting our offer to you suggested that the regard was not mutual. And so we resumed our business.
I did not hesitate. I am simply not inclined to make such decisions without first giving them due consideration. But what is done is done. Come then.
Alas, you are too late. We rarely take on such. Uncle, the bearers belong to him.
Who is your buyer?
A trader from across the water. A most demanding fellow, if it's any consolation. He insisted the bearers be fed, dressed, even given their own bunks for the voyage over. That's what you get when you deal with continental types.
I wouldn't know.
Oh yes, the culture on the continent is quite different to ours. They pay good money for bearers not fit for the knacker's yard, and treat them like kings. But as long as they pay...
That does sound unusual. No matter then. If they've already left our shores, there's little that can be done. Allow me to withdraw my interest. And with it, my interest in joining your organization.
My associates will be sorry to hear that.
I'm sorry you weren't able to save them.
As am I. But I only have myself to blame. He was right, you see. The Silver Peak Consortium did intend to buy those bearers before I did. Their representative hinted at a possible purchase when he came to recruit me. I feigned interest in joining them in the hope he might be encouraged to tell me more. And he did just that. As soon as he left, I sent my own offer to Randalar.
So you never...
No. I entertained the Consortium's proposal solely so I could learn more about those bearers. But I was a fool to think they wouldn't find out. I knew exactly who I was dealing with.
You tried.
I did. And if what he said was true, the bearers are to be well treated. Which is something, at least. But they deserved more. I wanted so badly to see them freed.
Eloise! Eloise! Word from Cashlock. The village is under attack. A pack of beasts have come down from the mountains, and there's a dragon at its head. Theo and the others are trying to hold them off as best they can, but the odds are against them. They need help, and fast.
Theo!
I'll go on ahead.
Thank you, Clive. I'll gather some men and join you there. Just... make sure he's safe.
Hold on, Theo. Good girl. Run like the wind. That'll do, girl. Where's Theodore?
Upriver!
He led the dragon that way to keep it from the village, but the whole area's flooded with ether.
We just have to pray he makes it out.
I can do better than that. Come on. Fly, Ambrosia. Thanks, Gal. Damn it. Leave is too thick. These creatures have already turned. I can't waste any more time. I need to find Theodore before that dragon does. Looks like it's found me. This thing's turned as well. This isn't going to be easy. Theodore, you had me worried for... We have to get you out of here. I
think it might be a little too late for that. Bearer or no, there's only so much ether a man can take, and that Drake just wouldn't let me leave. You have my thanks, Cid, for finishing what I could not. For keeping Elle's dream.
Theodore! Don't make me do this.
Stop it, Theo! Stop!
Stay back, Eloise! He's turned. And so will you!
Elle.
Theodore.
Take care of my sister.
Theodore, wait.
Goodbye, Elle.
Thank you, Clive. I think I'll be all right now.
That was true bravery he showed. Leading the dragon away from the village like that. His first instinct was always to protect people. To put others' well-being before his own.
And now he's gone. Because I sent him to that place, against his will.
It wasn't against his will. He was ready to do whatever it took to show you he could stand on his own. So that you would finally be free to live your own life.
To live my own life? He never could come to terms with the choice I made.
What exactly happened? You once told me Theo was the first bearer you ever helped.
We grew up in Canva. We were born to one of the great trading houses. And I was chosen to inherit the family business. I had my father's head for figures, you see. Theo did not. While I studied the art of commerce, he played at soldiers instead. A late bloomer. In more ways than one. For unlike most bearers, it wasn't until his 15th summer that his powers awakened. My parents tried to drive him out of the house and into the care of the constables. But before they could, I took him into mine.
Theo told me something else. He clearly admired your devotion to the cause of freeing others like him from slavery. But he said you deserved a better life than this. He wanted to free you from what he called your bonds, just as you freed him from his.
I would be lying if I said I had not wondered from time to time. How much easier my life might have been if I had allowed Theo to be taken, and devoted myself to the family business instead. But I have never regretted the decision I made. Being with my brother meant more to me than tradition or reputation. I only had to look at him to remind myself of that night, and the choice I made, and the fact that I would make the same choice again in a heartbeat. He was never a burden. How could he even think that? If anything, I was the one who weighed him down.
You weren't, Eloise. He said it himself, that he had always been grateful to you for saving him, and that he wanted to repay you by letting you live the life you were denied. Neither you nor Theo weighed each other down. You loved one another. You did whatever was necessary to continue living your lives together, and you always would have.
You're right. All I ever wanted, all I ever did, it was so we could be together. Oh, Theo, why did you have to... I know Theo wanted me to move on, but I'm staying here at the Crimson Caravans to continue our work. We can make a difference here. We can help people, save them. I need nothing more from life than that. So I'll carry on doing what we do, ensuring that goods, people, bearers get where they need to be, bringing smiles to people's faces just like we always have, and to Theo's, wherever he is. This is the life I have chosen. The life I will always choose.
I've made a choice of my own, to continue helping you however I can, whenever you need it.
Thank you, Clive. Let's go on together then. For Theodore.
Eloise is...
So Dravost is still standing. For now, at least.
If you can swing a hammer, you can...
Good day. Farewell, traveler.
Clive!
And the Akashic?
Mostly off to the north still. But I spoke to Doris's scouts and it turns out things are worse than I thought. There's swarms of them. Told old Snotty to be ready to seal the north gate. That should buy us some time if we need it. Enough for the villagers to barricade him.
Well done.
Welcome. I'd never have guessed, you know. Who'd have thought that the Savior keen to help us out?
I am.
Thought you could sneak off without me, did you?
Blackthorn.
Oh, what are you doing here?
One of the scouts couldn't keep his voice down. Unlike my best mate who didn't think I deserved to know. Zoldan, how long's it been? Long enough for us two to turn into a pair of old codgers, I see.
That your idea of an apology? Prick.
Don't listen to him. You only did what you thought was best.
I did, yeah. But that ain't the whole of it. master didn't leave the chiefdom to the two of us. He left it to me. The best blacksmith in Dravost, barring himself, of course. Bloody stupid tradition, in my opinion. If someone's got talent, you should let them practice their craft, not ask them to settle petty feuds and barter for grain. Our master wasted half his life that way. I wasn't about to let that happen to me.
So you wasted half of mine instead.
You're what Dravost needed. Under me and my precious ideals, this place wouldn't have lasted a year. So I left to devote myself to the work and spare you lot the consequences. I may be a selfish prick, but I only did what I felt I had to.
What you had to do was your duty!
Even if it meant we all starved?
Enough. This is no time for bickering. You can finish beating each other up once Dravost is safe.
Fine. I've said my piece anyway.
Yeah. So have I.
Sorry, Clive. I shouldn't have stuck my nose in. We're short enough on time as it is. Still, give us a mo, would you? I need to get my head straight before any of them Akashic try to bite it off. You, ready?
We can't afford to...
Right, you are. Might be worth having one like... Don't want any nasty... Oh, and... Blackthorn?
Akashic on the move.
How close are they?
Within sight of the walls. They'll wash right over us if we stay out in the...
Good idea.
Understood.
I'm prepared to fight it.
Well, let's hope you don't. Once the scouts are inside, order your... No heroic last stands, you hear me? No fighting at all if you...
August's right. I've seen what Akashic beasts can do to armor. The people here are tough and willing, but they ain't equipped to face what's coming.
I'm going out there. Start work on the gate as soon as I've left. I'll give you as much time as I can.
And if they kill you?
You evacuate. But it won't come to that. I promise.
You'd better be right.
Take good care of Dravost till I get back.
Leave it to me. And... give those things what for, yeah?
All right. Which one of you's first? Nice try.
There's a good boy.
Too slow. I needed that. Is that it? Apparently not. You're not getting past me. Now, the question is, did I miss any?
Man alive! You're still in one piece!
I slew as many as I could.
As many as I could, he says. The old bleeding lot, more like it. Well, almost.
Only almost.
Yeah, one or two did try to sneak over the wall. But we got the bastards, don't you worry.
Good. Though you do know, more will come in time.
In time, yeah. But we can think about them later. Let's get you back inside.
Cid! You're even more fearsome than your reputation. Enough to give those Akashic monsters nightmares. I almost felt sorry for the wretched things. But mostly, I felt grateful. Dravoged won't forget what you did today.
I'm afraid I've only delayed the inevitable. There's no getting rid of that ether flood. Meaning that any living thing which stumbles into those mines will end up...
And that's if the flood don't... I hate to say it, but the village...
That may be, but with ether floods springing up all over, it's no less safe than anywhere, and we'll fortify the... And I'll see that they...
All right. Then we'll give...
As for you, Blackthorn, that's twice you've turned up when Dravos needed you. So... thanks.
I shouldn't have stayed away so long. And I shouldn't have left without talking it over with you first.
Too bloody right you shouldn't. Though I doubt I'd have listened. I always envied you. How you made everything look so easy when, for me, it was anything but. You leaving gave me the perfect excuse to hate you. And from that day on, I never once stopped to wonder what it would have been like if you'd stayed. But what you said earlier, it was true. You'd have been the death of this place.
Finally, something we can agree on. I hope you see the sense of it eventually. You kept this place alive.
Alive, perhaps. Wealthy even, but... Dravos isn't what it once was. Our work used to be the pride of Dhalmekia. Now, we churn out the same rubbish day after day, because it's easy and turns a profit. It's not about the craft anymore. I wouldn't send my sons to war wearing the shit most of our smiths are making. I've kept working, honing my skills, trying to lead by example, but no one sees the point. The average castle apprentice has as much passion for the craft as our current lot. Come back to us, Blackthorn. Remind Dravoged what a true master blacksmith looks like. I'll even man those bellows of yours if it means we can work at the same forge again.
That's a kind offer. Kinder than I deserve. And I wish I could accept, but I'm needed elsewhere. There's people who trust their lives to my... Still, and I daren't let him down.
Fair enough.
But that doesn't mean I couldn't visit from time to time. Let's see if we can't rekindle this town's passion for the craft, shall we?
I'd like that.
Just be sure to tell Snotty to let me in the next time I come calling, yeah?
Knowing him, he'd let you in anyway. Blackthorn. The Master Smith turned outlaw, back in my good graces. I never thought I'd see the day.
I'd say that went pretty well, wouldn't you?
Even better than I'd hoped.
Cid, I've got something for you.
And this is?
A token of our lasting gratitude. But I'm of a mind to make you a far grander gift. Designs for a certain sword have been passed down from chief to chief for generations.
Now hold on, Zoltan. There's a reason no one's made that blade in centuries. There's not been a craftsman equal to the task. I'll admit your cinders make impressive steel, and I've learned to own an edge Odin will be proud of. But the engravings on that thing are enough to make a jeweler cry. And they're not just for show, either.
Have you forgotten what brought you back to Dravoged in the first place? A certain ring? I knew I'd never surpass you with the hammer and tongs. So I turned my hand to a different kind of metalwork. Between the two of us, I'd say we're the equal of any master craftsman ever to have graced a forge.
You know what? think you might be right. Clive, you wouldn't mind if Zoltan came back to the Hideaway, would you?
He's more than welcome, as long as he can keep our secret.
Right. Zoltan, get your tools. We've got a legend to forge.
Come back.
Oh, don't tell me we've run out of Papillon nuts and all.
Ah, the man himself.
We were just about to make a start on that sword I promised you.
It's funny, but none of this would have been possible without your help. You remember Camille? We'll be using his leather work for the grip. The steel, meanwhile, will be tempered in a fire, burning the cinders you charmed out of old Zoltan here. And that whetstone from the Outer Isles? That'll be what gives the blade its edge. And the final flourish will be my talented colleagues' engraving.
A team effort led by the greatest blacksmith alive.
Now, save that talk till the thing's finished, yeah? Right. I'm ready if you are.
To the bellows it is, then.
Well, bugger me. We actually did it.
The sword to end all swords. Ragnarok.
It's quite something.
I, trust you'll take good care of it.
Thank you. Both of you.
So, does this make you pair the greatest craftsmen alive, then?
This? Nah. This was just following the footsteps of the greats of old. It'll take more than that to earn us our place in history. But we're up for the challenge. Here.
A list of materials.
Zoltan and I got talking on the long road back from Dravost.
We reckon with those items there, we could craft something even better than the Ragnarok. Something worthy of a legendary outlaw like yourself.
That's a weapon I'd like to see. You leave this list with me.
I was hoping you'd say that.
One legend at a time, eh, lads? Before you start on the next, who fancies raising a cup to Friendship Reforged?
Good idea. No more drinking to forget my past. It's about time I had something to celebrate.
Then tap the kegs! Vulcan's boys are on their way!
Trouble with your gear, or... I never thought me and Zoltan would ever speak again, let alone work together. And if it hadn't been for you, we would... I sang for you, dear.
use all faith.
Not Sancthornian, do you? That it? Fine.
Ready, go? Fly, Ambrosia. Two down.
Everything's back the way it was.
Take that, you naughty...
Clive! To odd.
I just wanted to see how the town's been faring since...
Since all is absolutely wonderful. And firmly at the helm. Our stores are full, and the bandits still too... Just as the good Lady Jane and Lord Underhill intended.
Are you a lord? Lubor's going to be one too. They're going to make him the Lord of Dalimil. Because of how he stopped all the...
It's the mayor of Dalimil, dear child. and the vote hasn't taken place just yet. But if the people wish me to lead them, I shall. And my first act will be to build a school so that menaces like you two learn not to interrupt your elders. Speaking of menaces, there may be a rather worrying one just over the horizon.
May there indeed.
I'm afraid the example Conrad and Natalie set in putting aside their differences and presenting a united front might have caught the bandits' attention. And they might have elected to take a similar approach. They have formed what one could call a League of Outlaws, and they grow more organized by the day.
We'll fight them all off just like last time, won't we, Lou?
Of course we will. If we continue to work together, we can overcome any challenge we choose to face. The longer we avoid facing this one, the more difficult it will be, until the only way to overcome it might be to run for the hills. Our best hope is to nip these efforts at organization in the bud, by finding those ne'er-do-wells who have yet to join the cause, and ensuring that they never do. Perhaps a certain Lord
How could I refuse?
Thank you, my lord. Victor will fill you in on I have him stationed by the desert gate, receiving and collating reports from my scouts. Such an amenable soul. He reminds me of you.
I'll go and speak with...
What's the difference between
Everyone around town
and
saying Master Luke.
A League of Outlaws. Sounds like we have some competition. Still in Dalamil, Victor?
Ah, Cid.
I thought you'd have returned to Cosnis by now.
I did. I've developed something, and having worked so hard to see it saved from one fate, a sentiment Master Lubor certainly isn't...
You're not the only one.
What is he?
He asked for my aid and he said that you might be able to help.
Then you've come at just the right time. There are more camps in the vicinity but we must strike together, and we must strike soon.
All right.
There's one upriver.
Leave it with me.
Ready, go? Run like the wind.
Those ne'er-do-wells must be bad.
That must be the camp Victor mentioned. Come on then, Toggle.
That's him! The one who killed Locke and Fingers! Take his head off! Let
Enough! I'd better let Victor know.
Cid, where are you? Ah, I see the bandits.
No, but...
No.
What is it?
The whole town is saying that Lubor is a bearer.
What?
Seems that one of our parties wasn't as thorough as they should have been. They let one of the bandits, some of the children spotted him, and when Lubor felled him, and without a crystal.
But that's not possible.
It is, if he's a bearer and has been... If he has, well, I wouldn't blame him. Still, all those people see is a man who's lied to them all his life.
Fuck.
I don't know where we go from here, but I know...
You're right.
And now everyone knows. I made it a habit to keep a crystal close at hand for just such an occasion. Well, it was bound to come out sooner or later.
We're sorry, Lubor. We tried to keep running.
But we just couldn't anymore.
There's nothing to be sorry for. I rather enjoyed playing the hero for once. All that matters to me is that you two are safe.
Look at him talking to his betters like it's nothing. All lies, I'll wager. Just like the ones he fed us all these years.
Once people make up their minds, it's hard to change them. We need to do something. Convince the people not to let their prejudices blind them.
You're right.
I'm glad you agree. I'm a Dalmek born and bred. They'll let you head to the make Conrad and Natalie. They know that Lubor and I are friends. I'm Lord Underhill of Randalar's League of Merchants, however.
I'll do what I can. Lubor, I can't promise anything, but...
And that is all I can ask of you.
Why are you taking the bearers?
Why do they always have to make such a...
I knew all along that he was playing us for fool.
Forgive me for disturbing you, but...
As have I, Lord Under... The rumors...
He'll never be man.
But what of his wares? Bearer or no, his steel is highly valued throughout the Republic. In this, at least, he's done the town a service.
Leniency? He pretended...
I'm sorry, my lord, but he lied to...
So what do you propose?
Perhaps. And they will thank you.
The townsfolk have made their minds up.
Nor I.
You never know. Once their anger is cool...
All right.
Why the hell would Victor take the bearer's side? I assume the situation...
There's still hope.
But perhaps not in this lifetime, I think it's fair to say.
You mustn't think like that, Lou. We'll talk some sense.
No. And your efforts would...
But Lubo...
Rosina would often tell me that steel does not lie. That a blade is a reflection of the smith who forged it. To yourself be true, that was her point. Rather an ironic one when you consider that her life was taken with a blade of her own making. But I do not doubt that she was always true to herself and what she believed in, right to the end. And so must I be. I must do what I know to be right, no matter what others might think of me. And now, I must embrace my new role of villain so that the people of Dalimil have, for only united can they hope to stand. I'll need to make a suitably dramatic...
Don't go, Lubor. We'll be all alone.
Trust me, little ones. It is for the best that I go.
How could it possibly be for the best? The least you can do is give the townspeople...
I would not take it, Victor. It's over.
Over, you say? And so just like that, you're going to throw this town and these children to the wolves? I thought you were better than this. But it seems you had me...
Victor.
Forget it. Do what you will.
You sure you're making the right choice, Lubor?
Of those available to me, I believe it's the best one. Ah, but where are my manners? Right then. I have packing to do.
If there's anything I can do.
I'll bear it in mind.
Welcome, welcome. Of course. A fine choice.
Come again.
Lord Rosfield. Is that...
Perhaps. My brothers, have you learned anything of...
Little and less.
I see.
Be assured, however, even now, our archaeologians scour ruins in every corner.
Fallen ruins, I take it.
Indeed. Ultima's thralls are oft sighted among the as if protecting the...
Secrets we...
Should our methods be of... Mayhap it would please...
Would that be possible?
Of course. Perchance you are familiar with Kretov. I was due to visit my colleagues there to collect their preliminary... If you would consent to do so in my stead.
All right.
They will... Might I suggest you take the road through Titan's Wake? It will lead you straight to...
Thank you.
I wish you a safe journey.
Come on. Fly, Ambrosia. No holding back. faster! Thanks, Gal. Oh no. You'll pay for this. May still be survivors. Whatever that thing is, I'd say it's their leader. Too slow. Too slow. Should have stayed in the past. These must be Cyril's colleagues.
You have our thanks, stranger.
Who are you?
Ah, forgive me, my lord. I did not recognize you. We are archaeologians, tasked with surveying this site. When the echoes appeared, our brothers here occupied their attention. Thanks to them, and to you.
You call that, your brothers might still be alive if you put their safety before your duty. Surely this survey wasn't worth dying for.
We are charged with uncovering Ultima's origins. A duty of the highest import.
And you think your dead brothers would agree with you too?
I know they would. They gave their lives for the cause. Now, to what do we...
Cyril told me of your work here, and
I see. That is most kind. May the Firebirds flame burn.
It's one thing to lay down your life for another. But for a survey... I suppose I'd better get this back to Cyril.
Ah.
I collected you here.
My thanks. I shall study them and inform you.
Cyril, your survey party suffered several losses which could have been avoided. Had the others not chosen to complete their work, were these your orders?
No. Every Undying devotes his life to the service of the...
Even when death is avoidable.
My lord, I fear that this is not a point over which it would be fruitful to argue. The Undying have served the Phoenix for countless generations, and your opinion of our methods, however earnest, is not like to change them. We live to serve the Phoenix. Our very order exists for that purpose, and that purpose alone.
Cyril, I know that you and your brethren answer only to Joshua, but allow me to offer you a word of advice. It does not further the cause of the Phoenix to have his loyal followers surrender their lives without good reason. Provide your survey parties with an escort, that they might live to do their duty for years to come. Think not only of how you can serve the Phoenix, but how Joshua would want you to serve him. Please. For all our sakes.
I thank you for your advice, if you will permit me to respond. Our faith in his grace, Joshua Rossfield, is absolute. And we of the Undying will do what we believe is right to fulfill as first shield to the Phoenix.
I do.
Then we are of the same mind.
There were ghosts at the gates not days ago.
You needn't fret. The creatures...
Those things I said before.
Oh, Clive. What am I to do? My wards and I may soon be without a home.
What's happened?
The High Cardinal has descended from his lofty throne.
The High Cardinal?
Leader of the Council of Elders. Second only to his Radiance at the head of the Imperial government. Not that any of those things still exist. Now he goes by his noble title, the Duke of Oriflamme.
And what does he want with Northrend?
He wants to transform it into a military stronghold. A foundation upon which to build a new Sambrec. He's already secured the support of the various army remnants, with promises that they...
He would rob the populace.
Believe me. I have used every means of persuasion to
What does Captain Philippe make? When the town was under attack, it was him,
How? A man whose stated aim is to revive the Empire Philippe's Conrad. The captain can offer them a regular supply of gruel, and an occasional trip to the Vale to help them forget the terrors they face each day. No. Any attempt to given the mood around town, mutiny may yet be...
Who could blame them?
Clive, would you... for your services to Northreach, You have the respect, and unlike Philippe, no bonds of loyalty. Well?
I'll see what I...
Thank you.
Tell me then. In the garrison?
Overseen.
All right. I may have met this duke before, at the Remembrance Ceremony. Let's hope I didn't make a strong impression.
Halt! Oh, sorry about that. You're the dame's man, aren't you? You got some business with the...
No, actually. I was hoping I might be...
We're under orders not to let... But you should be all right. Wait here.
So, you are the sellsword who lent his aid to the garrison. The Empire owes you a debt, and I shall see it repaid. But tell me, is it well...
Neither, Your Eminence. I thought...
Ah, you are worried the yet you needn't be. Pride of place, in fact. For too long, but no more. For it is they...
Why here, Your Em?
The town has been fortunate enough to escape largely unscathed from... which is more than can be said for Oriflamme or Twinside. The Empire wants for a capital, with Caer Norvent as her citadel. Once we have seen to the refortification of both the town and the castle, we need only build a wall around both to create a city that would be the end. Plans are already underway. Soon enough, these thralls...
I fear you underestimate how dangerous these creatures are, Your Eminence. Should they return in force, you will need all the people of Northreach to come together in defense of the town. Something they may be loath to do if they've been deprived of their worldly goods.
The people will do as their leaders command. If Sanbreque is to be rebuilt, she will require a functioning government. One whose authority is beyond question. That is why this levy, so that any man who wishes to join the army might do so and be fed out. And yet there are those who persist in peddling the treasonous lie that I
suspect they're afraid of losing what little they have left.
Precisely. The common folk have little and less, and you mean to deprive them of even that. You would sow the seeds of your new empire in your own salted earth.
Sabine, we have discussed this.
Yes, and I told you then how putting the empire before her citizens would lead only to revolt.
Without an empire, there are no citizens.
And in yours, there will be only beggars. Is that what Griga wills for her people?
Do not take her name in vain, Sabine.
I'll come back later. The citizens revolt. I wonder what the people really think of the Duke's plan. It wouldn't hurt to ask them, I suppose. Let's begin with those on the other side of the wall.
Sabine, you are embarrassing.
As long as you remain.
You needn't fret. The creatures...
All right there.
Just your opinion. I wondered what you thought.
Not much. It's thanks to nobles like him that we had to set up shop this side of the wall in the first place. Couldn't have the rabble getting any closer to the holy capital, could they? And now he's trying to drive us out completely, threatening to take everything we got from us if we don't clear off. If the dame said she wanted him run out of town, I'd be straight through that checkpoint, tar bucket in hand.
I got peppers to numb your tongue up on fire.
I've been hearing a lot of talk.
Nothing good, old. Going around acting like he owns the place. And with hardly a word to the dame. This is her town, not his.
I take it you'd rather she...
As far as I'm concerned, she still is. Just need His Eminence to sod off back to Oriflamme.
Why? Your stall is...
A question. What do you think of the Duke of Oriflamme?
You build a life for yourself somewhere, earning for some noble to turn up and tell you you've got to hand it all over to him. If he thinks his name and his chains give him the right to empty our purses, he's in for a rude... We'll do whatever it...
Well, the people seem united enough. What about the soldiers? Excuse me, do you have a moment? I wondered if you'd mind sharing your thoughts on the Duke of Oriflamme.
Well, he's made a lot of enemies coming in the way he did. I mean, look around us. You can see the state the realm's in. The traders might not like having the screws put on them, but if they volunteered a few more of their hard-earned gil before things got bad, maybe they wouldn't have to. I think the Duke's got a point when he says rebuilding the Empire's the best way of making sure we're all protected. And if that means people who don't know one end of a sword from another have to make way for those who do, well, that's just how it goes.
I left everything in the capital.
You're the one who's talking to...
On the Dame's behalf, yes. I was trying to persuade him not to take the people's goodwill for granted. What do you think of his...
I'm a soldier, mate. He tells me what to do, not the other way round. Listen, I've got nothing but respect for the Dame. That's where my loyalties lie. Not with... If the Duke can get us the men and the equipment we need to...
As long as you remain, the Veil
I hear the Duke of Oriflamme plans to turn this town into some sort of fortress. Do you think that's a good idea?
It's not from... All I know is that unless the Emperor orders me otherwise, His Eminence's word is law. Look, no one likes all these taxes and tariffs, but empires don't come for free. Once Sanbreque is back on her feet, we'll all reap the benefits.
Let's see what Philippe makes of all this.
Sabine, you are embarrassing me.
You're embarrassing yourself.
Captain, do you have a moment?
For you? Thank you for last time. How can I help you?
I wanted to ask you about the Duke of Oriflamme. Do you intend to...
To tell you the truth, I'm in two minds. It's my sworn duty as a captain of the Imperial Army to obey his orders. But I can't say I agree with him.
Philippe, I remember you saying that you became a soldier to protect the people you loved. The Dame included.
That's right. I did.
Well, she doesn't agree with the Duke's orders either. She thinks they could tear Northreach apart.
And she's probably right. Thank you, Clive. Protecting the people I love is what matters. Well, thanks again.
It seems Philippe wants to do the right thing at least. I expect Isabel will be pleased to hear that, if nothing else.
Clive, were you able to...
I was.
So Northreach is to be a fortress after all. Well, it will certainly help to hold back the thralls. Though I doubt it will come as much consolation to the townspeople whose worldly goods are confiscated to pay for it. They deserve to be heard, Clive. To have a say in this...
Sadly, His Eminence values their obedience more than their opinions, and hopes to reassert the authority of the state. I fear he sees the people as mere pawns on his chessboard to be sacrificed for the great. Needless to say, they themselves are of a different opinion, and would rather their destiny. The soldiers, meanwhile, are content, and not just because of the Duke's rank.
I thought, had I sworn to protect Sanbreque? I dare say I too would want nothing more than to thank you for...
I don't know about that.
What happened to your uniform?
I handed it in, along with my resignation. Told the lads I wished them well, but that I owe it to those I love, because I realised what really matters to me. Not following some nobleman's orders for protecting. I honestly don't know when those but I'm certain they're not. And when they do come back, we need to stand with you to lead us, milady. It was you who finally... There's no point following orders if they go...
Indeed.
All of us. That has always been Northreach's best hope. We have only to turn our... Thank you, Philippe.
Anything. Speaking of standing together, would you mind if I borrowed a few of the lads from the Vale to help keep watch? I fear His Eminence has loftier tasks in mind for the Guard.
Not at all.
Wouldn't be the...
There may be hope for... especially with men like you and Philippe. I, for my part, shall continue to work upon the Duke. But I suspect I shall have to call upon... Until then...
Until then? Ambrosia won't help me here. Let's go. Time to fight. All right. You deserve a rest. Thanks, boy. That's all of them. Owain can uncross his toes now.
Covered in nicks and lumps.
With Canver in the hands of Akashic.
Ah, Sid, sir.
Good, thankfully.
Ah, that's brilliant! Thanks a blimmin' million! I'll fit 'em to the smelter right away! May I present to you the Telemon Furnace? Ain't bad, is she?
She's a beauty.
You saved my bacon again, Sid, and I ain't about to let your good deed go unrewarded.
It's fine, really. My bags,
Oh, don't say that. I'm sure
you could just...
How about that clasp? Looks a bit stiff, and I reckon I know how. With a new alloy we've been working on. It's a metal, see? So it's lovely and strong, but...
Stretchy metal.
That is the spirit. So?
It's... actually quite ingenious. Thank you, Owain.
Shh. Don't mention it. You earned it. And I wanted to get some practice in using that metal anyway. Can't think of any right now, but... that's our job, innit? Maybe even out there. One day, the whole world's gonna know about the inventions you've helped us put...
They'll hardly believe they're right.
How was she? The Enterprise, I mean.
So, she don't need sails? Oh, I wasn't expecting you back so... Here you are. Come again. I may...
more for ya.
How are you feeling, Joshua?
Better than I was.
But not nearly as well as you should be. Your cuts and burns may have healed, but your body still bears the burden of every spell cast.
And what would you have had me do? It was no ordinary foe we faced. It was the Warden of Darkness. Yet still, it was not enough. The king could have ended me at any moment, but instead chose to toy with me like a curl does a mouse.
You underestimate yourself.
Oh, it was crystal clear. Only one man established his dominance that day, and that man was Barnabas. I'm sorry, brother. That was ill-spoken. It's just, I have never felt so powerless. And when so many are looking to us for strength, perhaps the prince feels the same.
What is this place?
Don't move. Here, it's fresh from the well. Grandmother told me spirits sometimes get lost, and that the lanterns guide them to their proper place. I set one on the river for her when she passed away.
The fiend works from the shadows. Was it you who guided my hand then, Ultima? No, not you. This is my doing, my fault, my sin to bear. And for it, I must atone.
Your hurts are healing nicely. It was my poultices that saw you well.
You make them?
And sell them, or try to. Earns me enough for bread, most days.
Forgive me. I have nothing to...
I know, but I couldn't just leave you lying there. You're going then?
Of course. I'm healed. Thanks to you and your poultices.
Will you promise to come back and visit?
Well, Phoenix, it would seem that I owe you my wings.
Perhaps he can find an answer. You will be returning to Waloed soon, I gather.
I see no reason to wait.
Then neither do I.
I can think of a few, but I doubt they'll stop you. You will take your medicine.
Of course, Lady Daya.
Set on leaving already, are you?
How long will it take us to get back to Ash?
Dunno, about the same amount of time it took us to get here. Maybe less, if your uncle can find someone trustworthy to patch up the Enterprise. All depends on where we're putting into port, mind.
Yes. It's not as if we can put ashore wherever we choose. We have to assume that the whole of Ash is hostile, and that we'll be attacked on sight.
Then we must find a place they won't think to look. And I have an idea who might know of one.
The Professor! I'll go and tell you come in.
While you're plotting our course, I'll be in the shelves with your lawsman. I wish to pick his brains about Ultima.
Then I'll talk to Karen about supplies for the journey. They may not be easy to come by in Ash.
Your brother's body won't take much more of this recklessness. You know that, don't you?
I do.
I still say it were a compliment.
Say. Ah, Clive. I was pleased tell me you've come to take our young...
I'm not here for Mid.
Then why not ask Molly if you can look in one of her ovens? Go on.
As soon as the Enterprise is ready, and we're going to need a safe place to...
Preferably one that won't see my ship blown to shit and splinters.
If it were that easy, do you think Waloed... Very little is known of Ash. We have the good King Barnabas to thank for that. If there is anywhere safe...
Then tell us what we will find.
But no split...
All right. But interrupt me, and it's over. Barnabas Thom. The one they call the Last King. Understand him, and you will understand the kingdom of Waloed. Barnabas was only a boy when he arrived from beyond the southern seas, and barely a man before he united the ragged tribes of Ash. And having unleashed them upon the formidable Veldamark, he set his throne upon the ancient kingdom's ruins. The victory sent shockwaves around Valisthea, Tales of Odin's might spreading through every court, parlor, and drinking hole in the realm. Note that this was in the year 843, and that the king still sits upon his throne some 40 years later, quite untouched by time. Waloed's recent inaction left many wondering if Odin had lost his appetite for war. And yet here we are. The Einherjar was committed to the fray, a bold declaration of intent. Orcs swarm around Drake's Fang, and throngs of Akashic haunt Canva's streets. Though how precisely the havoc they wreak serves Waloed remains unclear. Regardless, if the order to attack truly came from King Barnabas, then one thing is certain. Waloed has achieved the impossible, and made bedfellows of beastmen and the ether-addled alike. All of which is a roundabout way of saying that you will be in unknown territory when you set foot on Ash. Much of the continent has already been lost to the Blight, and what few ports remain will be fiercely guarded. And that is to say naught of its natural defenses. Offshore currents will cast an ill-equipped ship out to sea one moment, and dash it against the rocks the next. But then the Enterprise is anything but ill-equipped. And Mid has made land there before. Now, if only there were someone with an intimate knowledge of the Shadow Coast, and where a daring gentleman might put ashore. You see, Clive, you had the answer all along.
Do you think you can get us back to that beach, Mid?
Picked you up from it, didn't I? Not that it were easy. The currents were a right bastard. But then, if it wasn't hard, it wouldn't be worth doing, would it?
Well said. Thank you, Lady Vivian.
If a few morsels of common knowledge and a sprinkling of tavern talk are worthy of your thanks, I wonder what genuine intelligence might earn me.
Probably more visits. Mid, I need everyone in the ale hall now. I'll fetch Joshua from the shelves.
Aye, aye, Captain.
Covered in nicks and lumps, the lot.
You look like you could do with a drink. Well, drink up, you lot. The next round's on Sid. Oh, you're not leaving already, are you? Welcome back, Sid. That's what we like. Knock 'em back, everyone. Sid's buying. Don't be a stranger, Sid. What can I get you, Sid? Honestly, Sid. Do you hear that, ladies and gents? The next round's courtesy of the realm's Oh, you're not leaving already, are you? Welcome back, Sid. As if setting our people... Good news, everyone! Don't be a stranger, Sid.